So, in the beginning of time of Nathan Tomzak, always using cameras, picking up home videos, and just editing together just footage. My passion grew within just capturing the finest of my surrounding environment, creating beautiful imagery, filming things that I thought just looked cool, putting together really anything. I constantly challenge myself with projects. I try to find new ways to capture things, new angles, new camera techniques. When I was young, I would go on vacation and I would film my family, and I would come home and I would just compile any footage that I captured. Probably some of the biggest challenges as a young adult that I've faced was maturity. Growing up, going to school, I was always a class clown and I was always kind of just messing around. I had a very outgoing personality. And then I kind of made the realization that some of the ways that I was acting, like in the real world, didn't really fit the real adult world.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, so I think I would always just fool around with friends, or, I mean, as any kid does. But I think I kind of stretched a little further beyond a kid. About like 17 or 18 years old is when I was like, okay, maybe I need to realign myself and kind of focus and become more serious so that I can accomplish what I want to accomplish.
And how old are you now?
I'm turning 20 in a few weeks, so I'm just now like kind of building my professional self. But yeah, other than that, any other challenges that I've faced were probably, I wish I could review what I wrote.
How about how do you overcome challenges in general? What part of your nature do you use in order to overcome challenges? Is it the part of you that has the sense of humor, or is it?
Yeah, I think I do need to reach back to that childish me in order to accomplish more complex problems. When I was working towards my driver's license and I had to take the driver's test, I would take the test and I failed it like 3 or so times, and I was like, geez, and then I had to keep going back, and then
The driving part or the written part?
the written part.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not the driver's test. The driver's test I did fine, but the written part,
Yeah.
where they answering the questions,
Yeah.
I would fail
And
it.
you make a U-turn and blah blah blah.
Yeah, no, yeah. The whole like alcohol content and like all those like questions, when to drive and like with lights and just like all these details. I would study it really hard, and I couldn't really get it. And then the one time that I passed, I went and I would read the questions out loud in Barack Obama's voice and kind of just create this character, and I would, really like drive it home with the way that I would like say the questions, and it would just resonate in my head, and I would be able to focus on it like deeper. It sounds abstract and strange, but
No, but using Barack's voice to overcome challenges doesn't sound like a bad strategy.
But like I mean, ever since I was young, I think elementary school it started. I was in 5th grade, and this is kind of a story that I wrote in there. I had an open cut on my knee, and I was just a kid in class, and it was really fresh in the school year, so everybody didn't really know each other, and this is kind of when the first comedic outburst birthed. And there was a hand sanitizer container like on my desk, and somebody spilt it over, and it spilt on my open wound, and I kind of had this like natural reaction of just like getting up and just like reacting in a really comedic way to it, and everyone laughed. And then I was just kind of, I think at that young age I was like, wow, that's interesting. I can create such joy, and just like, even though I'm hurting myself really, that kind of just like right there in 5th grade, it kind of just birthed all this laughter and all this joy in middle school. And I was kind of just like the class clown and just like messing around with friends and whatnot. And then towards the end of middle school, a talent show popped up, and I was like, hey, I could probably do something in the talent show. Everybody thinks I'm a pretty funny guy. So I just signed up for the talent show, did some stand-up comedy, and then kind of my reputation just grew, put it on YouTube and got a bunch of views. And then high school went around, and again, just comedic me, just enjoying myself, just enjoying life. And then I think towards the end of high school is when I made that mature realization of I need to actually like do something with my life. And then I was like, okay, maybe I want to be an actor in the industry. Maybe I want to, you know, follow the steps of like Jim Carrey or something. And then I realized, you know, I could go that route of being an actor and just going to casting calls and doing audition after audition, and maybe going to acting school, and I'm in just like this cesspool of actors, just going for the same thing when someone's better looking, more talented, and it's just kind of just the way the industry is. So then I chose film school. I said, okay, I'm actually gonna like get behind the camera, learn that, and then maybe get to know directors, and then be in front of the camera. And then this is where I am today.
Okay. So what do you think within your nature would be, what would be the greatest impediment, obstacle for you to succeed? Is there anything in your nature that can prevent you from succeeding?
Yeah.
I mean, you did talk about transitioning
into maturity
and taking things seriously and responsibly.
I think right next to immaturity would be laziness and motivation.
Okay.
And I think that's the next challenge up, and I'm getting there really. Recently I went on a trip, and I was filming, and I was having a good time, but I realized while I was like portion of the trip, I was, you know, visiting friends and having a good time, and I realized that I wasn't doing anything that was benefiting the future me. And so recently I've been waking up and, you know, having a lazy day, just playing video games, hanging out with friends, going and taking pictures of something, and kind of just not studying, not advancing, and I need to dive deeper into knowledge and educate myself and actually like learn about the industry and learn how to be a good director, and maybe I just need to put myself out there. You know, there's a lack of motivation in all of us, maybe. I don't think
kind of talked about that last week. You weren't here, but yeah.
We're not really living up to our potential.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's so much we can do, but I don't know, we need to maybe look at the life as not filled with things, but maybe filled with potential and filled with opportunity, and really just seize that. And I think
Carpe
recently,
diem.
Carpe diem, seize the day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.